Hi, welcome to IELTS Hockey. So when a student comes to me for IELTS classes, I always buy an account of small talk for him, and that's included in the fee. I don't sell my baby codes with extra money. So the thing is that I came across this new variant today, as in there is this thing that estimates your score. So let's try it together. Uh, let's see what is there. And since they're asking for a speaking of 15 minutes, I'll take any topic, any random topic from the internet, and I'll speak on it for 15 minutes. If we see what is written here, estimate your IELTS band with your own variant for an accurate score. Speak for 15 minutes, as if you were taking the test. Let's see. So I don't think we need to have. Okay, let me just read the instructions. This is my first time. So I think it is about speaking for 15 minutes with your own questions. I have done that, I think, for you guys. So what I do is that I take a random topic from the internet and I'll speak on it for 15 minutes and let's see what it gives me. Otherwise, it costs $30 per month, but I buy it for my students. The thing is free for them actually because I buy it for them. So let's take a topic first, maybe. Otherwise, you'll consider me as in manipulative. So I'll close my eyes. Whatever comes to me, as in with the eyes folded, I will select it. Um, but I'll have to go to a website for sure without any answers. Maybe this one. Okay, so mm, okay, I will just start speaking. Prima facie, I can't think of anything that I use as a place for reading and writing because I do everything from my home only. I am an entrepreneur and I do my works from home only. I'm a teacher. I have been teaching English for about 5 years. I used to work with Career Launcher, but then I started working on my own. So the only place where I work is my own room, and there only I make my Instagram reels also, which are quite ridiculous, but it's okay. Uh, Earlier, it used to happen whenever I had to study during my college time. I used to go to my aunt's house a lot. That was mostly because my house was noisy and theirs was quite, you know, isolated and insulated actually. Because otherwise, the area is quite residential, but they have this, property that is, semi soundproof. So I could study properly, and that habit had been there since my grade 12 actually. or maybe even before that. My aunt loves me a lot. She is my paternal aunt, and her husband is very nice also, and they have always made me feel at home whenever I am at their place. And I used to study about my exams only. I was a non-medical student, so I used to study physics, chemistry, and math. I was not good at English at that point, and it was mostly because of the fact that English was not a very considerable subject at that point. And honestly, in Indian curricula, English is all about cramming. You have known your facts, you have known your literature, and you can, slay the exam properly. But as soon as I became, an English teacher, I had become a bit more serious about the conceptualizations regarding the language, and I started studying English like English. And if I talk about my current room, which is in my home only, it has, a sofa set, actually two sofa sets, and there are some chairs, and it has a table. There's a big TV that you can see also behind me, which is useless. My father wants to watch TV, but I have, occupied this room, and it has an internet connection so that I can take the online classes and all. Um, Otherwise, as in, I can tell you an escapade. When I went somewhere to study, it was not about studies. I think I did something wrong, perhaps, so I would not talk about it. Let's just check it. So when I was in Chandigarh, as in, I was, there for some time, and there also I had my isolated room. I used to live with my roommate. He is a very sweet guy. His name is Ravinder, and he's a teacher. So we used to have this room that was again very large, and it had a bathroom attached to it, and a small kitchen also, a makeshift one. We did not used to cook a lot, so it we did not require anything that was humongous or colossal. And in that room also, I had a bed on which I used to take, on which I used to sit and take classes. But it was like I had to have a chair and a table for proper classes, but nothing of that sort was there. And I was emotionally down also because I was away from my parents, though it was my mistake only. But still, and if I wanted to have a, place to work and study, I would want to be in a place where, I have something that is all educational and hardly decorative, because I don't think education requires any kind of paraphernalia. And mostly what I see is that people have a lot of big TVs where they do these digital, shenanigans, like they will move their hand, and the things will go ahead and all. I would want something that is all about teaching, and maybe it is very awkward, not awkward, but obsolete. But if it teaches, properly, it is fine. And I just want to confirm the question again. Sometimes I make a mistake. Yeah. So if it were there, as in, I would be very happy, because um, I would need a board, I would need a marker, I would need some notebooks, I would need a pen and all the other stationery items, because teaching is incomplete without such things. I would not need a projector or a big TV or a maybe digital, you know, any kind of digital, you know, um, extravagance that is going to make me more of a show off than a teacher. And let me just read the instructions again. I'm getting conscious. I don't know why. Yeah. So, and also, I would want to have about 15 students with me, because I think I cannot teach many students at a time. I would want to have a small set whom I can help properly. And I would be studying myself also there, because I love taking exams. I think I'm become better when I have taken an exam. And currently, I'm preparing for the Trinity certificate, ISC, for the highest level. And I am preparing for TKT module one and module two and module three also. I've taken module one, and I think it went well. I will receive my results in about perhaps 4 weeks or something. Let's see what transpires. And I have to have something that is going to be environmentally, I would say, proper also, because I cannot. stay in a place that is going to harm the outside. There's a problem with the thing that sometimes people for their own benefit do things that are not conducive to the people who are not connected to them, and that is not something we should be doing, because our happiness is connected to their happiness. Let's consider an example. I make all my students come to me and be with me, and and the number of students is about 100. So if they are studying from me, and I'm not able to pay attention to each of them properly, what is going to be the benefit? And suppose they are not able to pass their exams, the majority of them are not able to pass their exams, what will happen is that they will become sad, they will be dismal, and they would post negative reviews about me. And they will also, as in, their families are going to be sad, their families are going to have friends and associated people, and they're going to make them sad. So this chain reaction of people making others are sad, and they receive the sadness through that circle only, is something that the world suffers right now, and we should stop it. As in, we should not be manipulating or maybe harming others. There's no way you can be happy if others are sad, if others are despondent. Such instances of subterfuge are going to lead to you know dystopia only, and we are already facing a lot of miseries on a global level. For instance, there is this you know racism, there is this um, intolerance, and a lot of other things. I cannot be commenting on the negative aspects here, but as I said, we have to be very positive for our surroundings to be positive, and vice versa. After that, if I talk about a dream workplace that I've already seen, I think it is the house of my uncle. It's another uncle from the previous one. They are both different. um, he's a principal. Actually, I've not seen, I have seen his place actually, yeah, and it was quite nice. It was not a dream workplace, but it was nice because he's an educator, so he knows the value of education. So he has a proper room that is devoted to, I think, books and other such things only. And if I got a chance to stay there and do my work, I think I would be doing better. I could take classes from there because they are three people in the house, or maybe they have a servant also. I do not know about that, or some other people, but I think they are cognizant enough to have things proper educationally. Furthermore, I would want to make some places for my students also, if they are able to study after they have left my classroom. I think this idea has popped up right now, but maybe I can do something of this sort. When I have a lot of money, I could build a place where students can study by themselves also after the class is over. They might be able to score well, and I would be happier than anything in that case. I know I sound like a saint, but this is my reality, and I'm not faking it. And you can ask any of my students if I've ever done any harm to them. And if you see my Google reviews, I have more than 160 Google reviews, and each of them is positive. My lowest rating has been 4 stars, and that too by a very small number of people, maybe five or six, or maybe even three or four. I do not have the exact count right now. And in such, I would say, compartments, I would keep water for them, some foods for them. Students are sometimes very stupid that they do not eat properly while they study, or before they study, or after they study, and they have this nervousness that they have to have something of a grade before they can be happy. But I would recommend they be completely out of that zone, because happiness leads to success, and success leads to happiness, but neither of them is dependent on any kind of competition. But theirs is not the fault also, because our world has been like that. So maybe our mental system has you know taken this thing that, yeah, it is a materialistic world, and we have to be very successful by default for us to be happy. And we need to you know have a lot of maybe a proper fruit salad. Fruit salad also means your medals and all, and it is mostly an army term, but we have to have fruit salad for us to be healthy, pun intended here. So maybe I will do something of this sort for them, but right now I do not have enough money. I have spent a lot of money on my exams, and these international exams are quite expensive. So most of my money has gone into these international exams only, English exams only. But I think they are good, and I watch a lot of movies, and movies are expensive. The tickets cost a lot, and the popcorn costs even more. So I might be facing bankruptcy soon, but my father is a banker. I don't need to worry about such things. And so I again remember a room. Perhaps there was this room of my principal, and I used to study at this school called APS. That room could be used to read and write also, or maybe let it be. I went to Mumbai to take an exam, certificate of proficiency in English, that exam. And there was this person who had a room that was completely soundproof. We were sitting inside, we were talking about something personal, and I was very chary of the fact that other people might listen to us. But he said it was completely soundproof, so I did not need to worry, and I did not worry after that. So maybe that room could be used to study properly. You know, Sometimes I get conscious when I'm speaking or making a video that other people are listening to me outside, and they are judging me or something, and that's a very normal response. I think that happens to each and everyone. Uh, I think I would be very comfortable making a video knowing that nobody is able to listen to me or hear me, and then I could speak anything. I would lock it from the inside, and I would write my essays there also, because I have to write a lot of stuff for my students, for them to know the formats and the samples. So maybe I would be doing better in such a room. Maybe I can construct a room of that sort in my own place only, but I would have to talk to my father about that. Would he listen to me? I don't know, because he is a person who would do only the things that he considers right. So let's see if that happens or not. But I could go to Mumbai also, maybe, to use that room, but I don't think that person is going to let me use that room. So check it now. Moreover, I think there could be a room in a place, in an academic place. Now I'm going to talk very hypothetically. There could be a room in a place that is very large, that is very spacious, in a palatial building, where there are only, you know, academic these kinds of things, books and other sorts of things. So maybe that room, if if it were there, I would love to use it. So if any of you listening to me right now has a room in Amritsar that is completely insulated from the noise, and if it has something that can aid my teaching and my learning, please contact me. My details are on my website. And at last, I think everyone should be reading and writing for sure, even if you do not have anything that is conducive to or maybe favoring your current circumstances, because education is very important. Otherwise also you cannot be giving an excuse that I don't have this facility or that facility, so I should not be doing it, or I cannot do it, because otherwise nobody's going to help you. Life is all about making your own choices and working on them. And if you're not able to do so, and if you give the excuse that, okay, so I would need this to do that, then perhaps that this is not going to be with you at a point. So would you just sacrifice everything else? No, you should not be doing that. And writing is a very complex process in itself. You need a lot of concentration and focus for you to be able to write proper essays or other kinds of writings. And so I think silence is needed. And even if you don't have a proper silent place, you could go to an open place that is silent. It's not about only rooms or maybe such things like these stores or maybe other kinds of residential complexes. You can be sitting in a park that is silent, maybe at an hour where no people come there, or maybe you could be sitting in a perhaps open area, in an open area that of another sort. I cannot comment on something of this sort, but I remember I was in Kasoli some time back, and I remember there was this place. I cannot. It was, I think, called Kasoli only, perhaps because it was so small. The hill station is so small, or maybe I was not able to explore it properly. So I went to a proper section that had complete silence, and there was this one cafe over there only, and I tried to make a video there. I was not able to make one because some customers came, and there was this selfie session, which I hate. I don't look good. They should take selfies because they look good. So that thing was a hindrance to my making a video over there, but it's okay. Life has been like that to me since my childhood. And apart from that, I would want to finish it now. Actually, I think I've spoken for 15 minutes. Why is it not finishing it? I don't know. Let's continue then. Then perhaps, if I talk about reading, I was preparing for this exam TKT, and I got to know that reading can be a pain in the backside, because sometimes we are not able to have the meaning because we are not aware of the world in general. Reading requires us to be aware of the common phenomena outside the world, outside the small space we live in. They say that you read something and you have to compare it with your general knowledge for you to understand the meaning of the thing in the context. Perhaps, like there was this example given that people were surprised to see her run. So they said you must have this knowledge that mostly people expect men to run and not females. So that is why that might be the case that people were surprised. The example was this or something else. I do not have an eidetic memory, so I sometimes forget things, but it was something similar for sure. And that book actually gave me a lot of things about reading. Reading is a gradual process. You have to know various things to be able to read a text, proper text in English or maybe any other language also. And it told me about the fact that um, there are certain strategies that you can use for different kinds of questions, like scanning, skimming, reading for gist, or something of that sort, something of that kind. I think some of these terms are the same kind of thing also, or maybe not. So I got to read a lot, as in that book, and I read things otherwise also. I am reading a book right now. It's called something of this sort. The body keeps the score, and it's about depression and self-help. I have not read it properly till now. I have read only about maybe 20 pages, or even I would say I have not even read 20 pages till now. I have been occupied for some time, and I have very many students right now, so I have to take care of them. I have to evaluate their exams. I have to take classes. I have to do a hell lot of stuff. So maybe that is why I'm not getting time to read the book properly. But I'm excited about it. If I get time now, I would read it. And my first book was, I think, Half Girlfriend. It's by Chetan Bhagat, and it was a nice book. Honestly, I did not dislike it. Otherwise, I've heard some wrong things about it, but I don't know why that happens. As in, maybe people try to be pretentious when they are not, deserving that kind of maybe appreciation. People say that they read intellectual books, but they are all about reading, cheap kinds of things. And maybe we should not be worrying about such a thing. And I think maybe they're not counting time. So let it be. I'm going to finish it. Let's see what the time is, and I'll tell you what my report comes out to be. So let's finish it now. Maybe 15 minutes have happened. I thought they would, measure the time, but they have not done so. Very bad of you, small talk. I'm gonna pause the recording now. I'll come back.